Hello everyone, welcome to Chem Analysis. In today's lecture, I will mainly discuss about phosphorus 31 NMR and fluorine 19 NMR, and mainly I will solve previous year CSR net questions on this topic. Before going to solve the questions, let's discuss briefly about P31 and F19 NMR. Now for P31 NMR, the NMR active nuclei is phosphorus 31, for which I is equal to half, and similarly I value for 19F nucleus is also equal to half. That means I not equal to 0, that is both this nucleus is NMR active. Now relative abundance for 31P NMR is 100%, and similarly for 19F nucleus relative abundance of this isotope is 100%. In case of 31P NMR, the sensitivity of this nucleus for NMR instrument is less in comparison to other NMR active nuclei like 1H or 19F, and F19 nucleus is highly NMR sensitive similar to 1H nucleus. It is less sensitive to NMR instrument, and it is highly sensitive. This 13P NMR is mainly done to understand the presence of phosphorus nucleus within the compound, that is any organic compound or inorganic metal complex, and F19 NMR is performed to identify the presence of fluorine nucleus within the organic compound. And for simplicity of the NMR spectra, we can perform the proton decoupled 31P NMR, that is NMR active phosphorus nucleus will not couple with any NMR active proton. Similarly, fluorine NMR can also be performed with proton decoupled or proton coupled. In case of proton coupled, this NMR active fluorine nucleus will couple with proton, and the peaks corresponding to fluorine nucleus will get splitted. Similarly, if we perform proton coupled phosphorus NMR, then the peak corresponding to phosphorus nucleus will get splitted by coupling with proton present within the molecule. Is it clear? Now these are the just brief introduction regarding P31 and fluorine 19 NMR. Now let's solve some previous year CSR net questions on this topic. This question came in any CSR exam. I did not mention the year because I exactly don't know which year this question came, and it is asked for 2 marks, and it is asked that for this complex in non-fluxional state we have to identify the 31P NMR, that is proton decoupled. Within this bracket, that means proton decoupled 31P NMR resonances, that is how many resonances are possible for this complex in non-fluxional state. Non-fluxional state, that means this molecule is rigid within this conformation. Now if we see carefully, we can see that the geometry around the central iridium metal ion is trigonal bipyramidal. This is the trigonal plane, and it is below the plane, and this ligand is above the plane. That means the complex is in trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Since the molecule is non-fluxional, that means we can say that this phosphorus nucleus and this phosphorus nucleus are non-equivalent. Since the electronic environment around this nucleus is different from the electronic environment around this nucleus, that means both two nucleus, phosphorus nucleus, are different in different chemical environment, and for this reason there will be 2 resonance corresponding to this 2 phosphorus nucleus, and these 2 phosphorus nucleus will couple to each other through 1 and 2 bond interaction, and this phosphorus nucleus will be splitted by the I value of this phosphorus nucleus, and the splitting will be according to 2Ni plus 1 rule, and since N is equal to 1 and I value for this phosphorus nucleus will be half, and so one phosphorus nucleus will be doublet. Similarly, this phosphorus nucleus will be coupled with this nucleus and it will also be doublet. That means there will be two peaks and both peaks will be doublet. That means we can say that option number D is the correct answer, two doublets. This question came in December 2018 for 2 marks. From this question we can see that we have to identify the number of resonances observed for the proton decoupled 31p NMR for this complex, that is meridional MPr3 whole 3 Cl3. M is a transition metal complex for which I is equal to 0. That means this phosphorus nucleus will not be splitted by the metal center, since for metal center I is equal to 0 and the complex is diamagnetic, though it does not have any effect on the NMR spectrum of 31p NMR. Now the structure of meridional MPr3 whole 3 Cl3 complex, it is Ma3B3 type complex. Now in that case the plane containing this 3A ligand, that is 3PP PR3 ligand, will be perpendicular to the plane containing this 3B ligand, that is 3Cl ligand. As we can see from this structure that the plane containing this 3PR3 ligand is perpendicular to the plane containing this 3Cl ligand. Now in the case of facial Ma3B3 type complex, the plane containing 3A ligand will be parallel to the plane containing 3 other B ligands. That is, for this complex the plane containing this 3PR3 ligand, that is this plane, is parallel to the plane containing this 3Cl ligand. If you can join all the ligands, then you can see that is this plane will be parallel to the this 3 ligand containing plane. If you can imagine in 3-dimensional way, then you can see the correct image. Now for this complex, it is meridional. In this complex we have to identify that how many resonances are possible in P31 NMR, that is proton decoupled. Now the number of non-equivalent phosphorus nucleus will correspond to number of resonances possible in this complex. Now in this meridional complex we can see that this ligand and this ligand are equivalent to each other, since the chemical environment around this two ligand it is similar. Since for this two ligand all the chlorine ligand is cis and this PR3 ligand is non-equivalent to this ligand, since for this PR3 one chlorine is trans and two chlorine is cis. That means there is two different PR3 ligand, that means two different phosphorus nucleus. So there will be two lines corresponding to two different phosphorus nucleus. That is option number C is the correct answer. We have to just identify that how many resonances are possible for this complex. Now if we just for query, if there is given the facial complex, then since this 3 PR3 ligand is similar, since this for this PR3 ligand two chlorine ligand is cis, one is trans. Similarly for this two ligand also two chlorine ligand is cis. For this and this cis and this chlorine is trans, and for this and this is chlorine is cis and this chlorine is trans. That means all the three ligands are equivalent, and for this reason in 31p proton decoupled NMR there will be one line for this facial complex. Now let's see the next question. It also came in December 2018 and it is asked for 4 marks. We have to carefully understand the question. It is given that in 31p proton decoupled NMR of this complex for platinum 195 33.8%, platinum 195 is NMR active, that is for which I is equal to half, and its other isotopes, that is remaining 66.2%, is NMR inactive, that is for that I is equal to 0. Now we have to identify for this complex the main peak which is comprised with satellite peaks. Just understand carefully that it is given that the 31p NMR of this complex is comprised with satellite peaks of, that means we have to identify the main peak which is associated with satellite peaks. That means the main peak is singlet, doublet or triplet, and it is associated with satellite peak. Is it clear? You have to first carefully understand the question, then it is very easy to solve the question. Now for this complex cis platinum, this complex PET3, since it is proton decoupled, there will be no coupling with proton attached to any carbon atom which is attached to phosphorus nucleus. It is cis complex, and for 33.8% of platinum nucleus is NMR active, and for phosphorus it is I is equal to half. That means P31 nucleus will couple with the 33.8% of platinum 195, for which I is equal to half, and will be splitted, and the remaining 66.2% will not split the phosphorus nucleus, and for that phosphorus nucleus will be singlet. That is, since these two phosphorus nucleus are equivalent, for which the peaks, the splitting will follow this rule, and it is platinum N is equal to number of platinum nucleus through which this phosphorus nucleus will be splitted. I is equal to half plus 1. That means there will be doublet peak, and similarly the remaining 66, the intensity of this peak will be 33.8%, and the intensity of each peak will be near about 17%. Since total intensity is 33.8%, each peak will be half of this intensity, that is each 17%, and the remaining 66.2% of platinum, for which I is equal to 0, will not couple with the phosphorus nucleus, and for this nucleus the phosphorus 31p NMR N is equal to 1, I for the remaining platinum nucleus is equal to 0, that means it is singlet, and there will be singlet peak, and its intensity will be 66.2%. That means this is the main peak, and it will be associated with this doublet peak, and these are satellite peaks. The intensity of each peak will be 17%, and the main peak will be 66%, near about 66%. That means the phosphorus 31p NMR of this complex will be singlet, and it is associated with satellite peaks, that is doublet. Since the intensity of these peaks is very less, for this reason these are satellite peaks, and the main peak is singlet. That means the answer will be singlet. Is it clear? Okay. There is a similar type of question as just solved. It is asked that the expected number of spectral lines in 19F NMR including satellite peaks for this complex. It is slightly different from the previous question, because here it is asked the total number of peaks including the satellite peaks, and previously it was asked the main peak which is associated with the satellite peaks. In the previous question we have to just tell about the major peak, and in this question it is asked that the total number of spectral lines in the fluid NMR of this complex including the satellite peaks. Let's solve this question. The structure of this complex is, for xenon the number of electron is 8, 5 fluorine and 1 for anion, that is 14 electron, that is 7 electron pair, and for 7 electron pair the geometry for this complex will be pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagonal bipyramidal means 5 fluorine nucleus will be in the same plane, in pentagonal plane, and this 2 lone pair and the remaining 2 electron pair will be, one will be above the plane and one will be below the plane of this pentagonal plane. Now all the 5 nucleus, fluorine nucleus is equivalent and they will split with the I value of this xenon nucleus. Now it is given that abundance of 129 xenon for which I is equal to half is 26. That means 5 fluorine nucleus will be splitted by the 26% xenon for which I is equal to half, that is n is equal to 1, I is equal to half, and it will be doublet, and the intensity for this doublet will be, total intensity will be 26% and each peak will correspond to 13% intensity. Is it clear? And the remaining 74% for which I will be equal to 0, the fluorine nucleus will be splitted like n is equal to 1 and I is equal to 0, and it will be singlet peak for which intensity is equal to 74%, and there will be these 2 satellite peaks for which total intensity is 26%. That means in the fluid NMR there will be total 3 peaks. There will be major one singlet peak associated with this doublet satellite peak, and in total we have to tell about the expected number of spectral peaks including satellite peaks. That means total number of peaks is 3. Is it clear? Now let's see next question. This question came in June 2017 for 4 marks. It is very simple question. We have to just know the structure of this complex. We have to identify the number of peaks in proton decoupled 31p NMR for this complex. Here 22 and 66 signifies the numbering of this, either this ligand or this Cl ligand. The structure is like this. Here if we numbering in this way, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is 2 2 6 6 for this tetra NMe2 ligand, or other way 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is 2 2, that means this 2 Cl ligand, and 6 6 this 2 Cl ligand. That means this 2 2 6 6 signifies the numbering of this Cl ligands or this NMe2 ligand. Now from this structure we can see that this phosphorus and this phosphorus nucleus are equivalent. Since if you see the chemical environment, you can see that the chemical environment around these 2 nucleus is similar. So these 2 phosphorus nucleus are equivalent, and similarly these 2 phosphorus nucleus are equivalent. That means in the 31p NMR there will be 2 peaks, and each peak will be coupled with the remaining phosphorus nucleus. That means these 2 equivalent phosphorus nucleus will be splitted by this 2 phosphorus nucleus, and similarly each phosphorus nucleus will be splitted by this other 2 phosphorus nucleus. Since the coupling is 1-2 bond coupling and it is quite strong, for phosphorus NMR. Now just among these two we are considering this phosphorus nucleus, and this will splitted by this two phosphorus nucleus following this 2Ni plus 1 rule, and the number of peaks corresponding to any one of these two phosphorus nucleus will be like this: 2 into number of phosphorus nucleus is 2 and I is equal to half, and it will be triplet. That means both two phosphorus nucleus will be triplet, and similarly these two phosphorus nucleus will be also splitted by these two phosphorus nucleus and they will also be triplet. That means there will be two peaks and both these peaks will be triplet. That is, the first option is the correct answer. Now here I am discussing one question from GATE 2016 exam. It is asked for 2 marks and it is from fluorine NMR. That is, for this complex we have to identify the F19 NMR spectrum at minus 60 degrees centigrade. Since the temperature is very low, at this temperature the compound will be fixed within a specific geometry and no bond rotation along the central atom will be possible. Now if we see the geometry, then the number of electrons around the central chlorine atom will be 7 for chlorine and 3 for 3 fluorine atom, that means 10, and 5 electron pair, that means the hybridization is sp3d, and for sp3d that means trigonal bipyramidal, and for this the geometry or shape of this complex will be T-shaped. Since fluorine nucleus is more electronegative than the electron pairs, so they will orient along the axial direction. It is according to the Bend's rule. Now if this molecule, since the temperature is very less, and at this temperature the molecule will be fixed in this geometry, that means no bond rotation or bond flipping from the axial with the equatorial is possible. Therefore we can say that there is two different fluorine atom, one is this and the other is this. These two fluorine atom is equivalent and this is different from these two. That means there will be two peak, and this fluorine atom will be splitted by this two fluorine atom following the 2Ni plus 1 rule. That is, fluorine equatorial will be splitted by the axial two fluorine atom, that is n equal to 2, and it will be triplet, and the axial fluorine atom will be splitted by the one equatorial. Since there is one equatorial fluorine atom, it will be doublet. That means equatorial fluorine atom will be triplet and axial two fluorine atoms will give doublet peak. That means the answer is this one, doublet and triplet, option number C. So that's all for this discussion. If you like it, then please share it and please subscribe to my channel, because to make such 20 minutes or 30-minute videos, it takes lot of efforts from us. If you support us and subscribe our channel, then it will motivate us to make such interesting videos in future. So please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.